Smokeless Chimney, Lessons in Fusion 360 Toolpaths, CNC Large Aluminum Parts, Best Flames on the Net. I'll go through my toolpaths. The stock is 6061 aluminum. It is 1/10 of an inch in thickness. You can see on the right how I set up my toolpaths, about 1,000 millimeters per minute cutting speed, and then the tricky part is the 330, and then 1 degree. Now it defaults to 2 degrees, but I highly recommend the 1 degree. All right, so I go to simulate and I take a look at the tool run, and it always works good in simulate. Get it at an angle that looks a little easier. You can see the bit working. All right. So I want to have a lot of coolant on that, but that looks like a fairly non-aggressive bore. The first 2 are bores. The second 2 tool runs are contours. So that's what our first toolpath looks like. Let's go to the table. We have a bit. We've got a mist on. Let's go. This is never stressful. Wait to the end to see what happened. Well, I got the, it's throwing off chips, but I didn't get the spray in the right place. All right, there we go. Looking good. We still got a bit. It hasn't gummed up yet. Mist is a little bit spraying, a little bit intermittent. Looking good. If you go too fast, I end up with oval holes. So if I do the 330 millimeters per minute, I get round holes. I like round holes. All right, this is the next set of holes. It's a 3-minute run. I'll show you the details here. Again, same setup, 1200 revolutions per minute, 1000, and then 330 with a 1 degree. That 1 degree is the most important part of the video. Do a simulation. Of course, it always works good in a simulation. There we see it digging in. It's a 5 millimeter hole, so it's a little smaller than a 6 millimeter bit. And I'm trying to use the 3 millimeter bit because I can get more detail, smaller holes. Here we are back at the, I think I'm finishing up. Oh no, I am working on the outer holes. So these are 5 millimeter holes and they are right out at the edge. Our mist stream looks good. Every once in a while it cuts out. I'm not sure why that is. Got a lot of air on there, as much air as I can provide. And the bits are flying off. I like the size of the chips coming off the 1/8 inch bit. And the 1/8 inch bits are less costly than 6 millimeter bits or 1/4 inch bits. As long as I got a good mist on there, I can keep that tool cool enough. Now this is a 6-inch diameter bore. However, I would say I would not want to use a bore toolpath because that would be a ramp, and I've smoked bits doing that before. I'm going to use a contour path. Same speed, same RPM, but I'm doing, my depth of cut is 0.25 millimeters. So it's going to do 10 laps around this circle. But I find that this method works without smoking the bit, whereas a ramp can easily smoke the bit. On a circle this big, use a contour. And it comes popping up out of the I'll show you a little bit of the next one, which is the outer contour. Now everything appears to be the same as far as speed, RPM. I believe there's a slightly different depth of cut here. Now heights. I went to 0.3, so a little more aggressive. All right, we're off to the races. I start with a 0.7 millimeter above the material, because sometimes your material is not as flat as you think, and you run into 2 or 3 millimeters of material when you didn't plan on it. So start about 0.7 millimeters above. Make sure you got lots of, this is a slotting run, so make sure you got lots of lubrication on it, lots of cooling, because it's cutting both sides of the bit. This is pretty aggressive for that small bit. It's going well. I got enough coolant on there. Looking well. So 0.25 millimeter depth of cut. All right, we're gonna do the outer octagon. Again, go through the simulation here. Always works good in the simulation, but I don't see anything glaring at me that would make me think this wouldn't work. Also, take a look at the Z position. I've got a highlighter pointing to it, so it's still above the material and it works its way in. All right, here we go. Notice my mist is not as heavy as it used to be. This may become a problem. I also noticed it was very dry on this front edge. Every time it passed through this, the mist would be less than other parts, and I couldn't figure out why that was happening. It's not cutting any material right now, but that's just not the steady flow that I would want. There's plenty of air coming out of that. All right, here we go. We're deep into it now, and coming through, and you can see the mist going. This one actually looked pretty good, but it's you know, you can see the mist isn't quite what it wants, and that's a pretty aggressive slot. So let's see what happens on the next one. All right, we're going through, and notice it gets to this edge, and it's not putting out very much mist, and it starts gumming up the bit, and things start going south. Now, I didn't break this bit, but I shut this down shortly after this. All right, at the end, some of the holes didn't go all the way through, so like with any project, you have to touch it up post CNC. So I'm going to finish off some of the holes. Some of the holes didn't go all the way through, so I'm going to finish those off. So this will be a roof of the Octoring, and it will basically keep the weather off. So I'm working on the enclosure, and thanks for watching. Smokeless Chimney, www.smokelesschimney.com, Facebook, Reddit, and YouTube.